Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be reviewing Supergirl Lois Season 2 Episode 14 titled Worlds War Bazaar. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new, notifications on, let's get right into the review. So opened up with Clark in the hospital, and he woke up from his coma or whatever. Jordan and Jonathan were on their phones. Jordan hears that Clark and Lois are coming home, and they leave their phones on the table, and their phones start glitching out. For what, the world started merging. We knew that at the end of 213, I think it was. Then Clark gets out the car, and you can see he's kind of walking slow, and he starts walking up steps and he loses his balance. He's not getting better. He's obviously drained of a lot of energy from losing his powers on some level. Allie drained Clark's cells of solar energy, and the sun isn't recharging him, which is why he doesn't have his powers. Jordan needs to fly Clark to the fortress so he can talk to his mom to figure out why, but he's too scared to, so they go to John Henry Irons to possibly do that. And Nat agreed that the world needs Superman, which is why she saved him. So I'm glad we're kind of past that whole arc of not really trusting Clark. I think that's still kind of there. But she does know the good that this Clark is doing and not the evil one that killed, her mom and her entire world. I'm glad we're kind of past that. Then we go to Allie broadcasting the TV. The language on the computer is reversed, like the Bizarro world, so it's merging. It's starting to merge completely. Clark's mom knows why his powers aren't coming back yet, because his cells have been altered, and they will heal, but he will remain with less energy. Now, Clark didn't get his powers because his cells didn't adapt to the energy around him for 4 years. So we're looking at a 4-year time period of Clark not getting his powers back till then, which is not, good. And you can't really argue it's anything to do with age because Kryptonians don't really age. We know that. Like, while Clark's in his 60s in human years, he could be like a freaking teenager, by then. So it wouldn't really add up that this is what we're going to be dealing with, where, Clark's powers will come back quicker because he's older. They'll still come in around a couple of years, if that. More likely a couple months, I think it was said, but it could vary from several months to a few years, due to that fact. Then Clark's mom's hologram went out because the world started merging, everything's going in and out, and you could see the cube, the sky's red, the worlds are merging, we already knew that. Same arrest at the Kent farm, Lucy's cooperating with the DOD or whatever, I'm forgetting the name of it, I don't really care. Irons and Clark return, Clark throws the family in, John wants to take Nat up in the atmosphere to read the energy rings in the red sun. And then Clark and Lois want to get the truth out, and Sam wants it to be shut down, because Chrissy was going to reveal something to Lana. Lana then leaves the kids with Kyle, and goes to set up a town hall at the school to get people there. Nat and Irons fly to the red sun, the energy from it is growing fast, and it's shifting into our world. Chrissy starts to tell Lana the truth, and Lois shows up and helps fill it in. So she's telling Lana the truth now, all of it. Well, not all of it, because Chrissy's there, but, the truth that needs to be told here. Clark's heart is weak. His super hearing is gone. Super Lana came in. Jordan rushes Clark away and tells Jonathan to get inside, and then Super Lana attacks Jordan. And then Clark manages to stop Lana from doing that, and then John and Nat show up, and Lana flees. Super Lana flees. They have 12 hours for the world to merge. If the people merge, they die, which makes no sense because the entire time we've been told that they won't die. So, I guess what, Allie's playing everyone, or she doesn't know that? What? Like, this storyline is so messed up. Like, all these breaks is messed up massively. But even if there weren't this many breaks, there's so much unexplained. Like, how the hell is Allie bringing the worlds together because of Clark's powers? That makes no sense. The pendant was destroyed. Or are we forgetting that? I mean, she can't do that. No, unless we're going to bring in some magical voodoo crap here, it doesn't work like that. They can't just use Clark's powers and say, oh yeah, we can bring the worlds together. No, that's not how it works. I don't care what universe we're in, that's not how it works. Clark's powers can't do that. Not even Kara's can. So no, that's not how it works. But whatever. And the people merging and dying, this entire season we've been told that they won't die. So, which is it? I mean, either what they're saying is true or what Allie's saying is true. I mean, we were been told this entire season that if they merge and they have a doppelganger, they will live. They'll become like a mixed version like Allie is right now. So, you know, whatever. There was a lot wrong with this episode. I didn't really care for it. There were some good things, but not a lot of good things. It was definitely better than 212, but it definitely was not better than 213. I think this was the second worst episode of the entire season. I don't know about the show, but I could definitely say this is second to worst episode of the entire season. Hands down. The worst, second to worst. 212 being the worst. Which is not good. And next week's the finale, and I have zero hype for it at all. Like, it's like, come on. Lana tells people the truth. They don't believe her. Clark showed up as Superman to give people hope and, you know, all that. And tells them that Lana's telling the truth. And then Nat and John are spraying X-Kryptonite all over their suits. How the hell that even helps anything, I don't know. Because if you remember, Anderson had to take XK, and he barely made it. He had a suit on. He didn't spray it on the suit. I don't care what material John's suit is made of, but that's not how it works. So what, the suit has superpowers now? Is that what we're saying? You spray XK on a thing and it gets superpowers? I don't think that's how it works. And the thing here is that they sprayed it on Nat's suit too. Which, there's a problem here because John locked Nat's suit out. After that. If the XK really can help protect John, why didn't he lock Nat's suit and then use that extra XK on his own suit? Why waste that when you know you're gonna lock her suit? That's not for story reasons. That's for writing purposes. There was zero reason to make that happen. The writing in this show was from 100 to like 20. I mean, it was horrible. At the common sense that this show had in season 1 and early season 2 until that long break. And now we're getting to a point where it's like, what the hell is even going on? And also we're getting to a point where why would John come up with the idea to go in between the worlds when Superman nearly died doing it? Like I said already, Anderson and XK, he nearly died doing that. Clark is Superman, and he nearly died doing it. But sure, John can spray XK on a metal suit, and he can do it. What? Can someone explain me how that makes sense? It makes no sense whatsoever. And if it makes sense to you, great, I'm happy for you. But from a common sense, logical point of view here, it makes zero sense. And the writers of this show, I don't know what the hell happened, but they took the crap that the Flash writers took during season 7. That's what that writing is. That is lazy writing. That is horrible writing. For the first time and throughout the history of this show, I have never once hated on the writers. I am right now, because that is horrible writing, and it could have executed a lot better. I don't know if it's because they were lazy or they were trying to make it fast, but God, that was lazy. It really was. Anyways, John put a safeguard on that suit, like I already said. She's worried that she would die if she goes, which is a good worry. Then John leaves to go stop Allie. Kyle takes the youngest girl home so Lana can go talk to Sarah and take her home as well. And then Super Lana and John L show up. And again, lazy writing, they landed right behind Lana as she was walking away. So unless Lana is deaf, and it wasn't like a, light landing, like they landed like Clark does. That's not a quiet landing. It is a loud, like, pound on the ground. It isn't a, it's loud. I mean, good Lord. The writing. The only reason that scene didn't have Lana looking behind her shoulder and seeing her doppelganger and John L. landing there was because it would have ruined the moment where Jordan revealed his powers to Sarah. That is the only reason that didn't happen. Because we all know that if Lana saw them two land, she would have gotten Sarah out of there like that. Not even a second would have gone by. And then Super Lana would have come in and Jordan and Super Lana would have fought without Sarah being there. But because they need the writing to cause controversy between Sarah and Lana and Sarah learning the truth about Jordan, they needed the writing purpose for Lana to pretend to be deaf and not hear the superheroes, superpowered people, not superheroes, superpowered people landing like that right behind her. It was literally right behind her. Two superheroes. The powers of Superman landing, not lightly, and Lana couldn't even hear it. It was because of the writing purposes and it was lazy writing. That's why. Anywho, John now took a kryptonite drug. I don't remember if that was a thing that he's done. I don't really care. If that was a thing, great. If it wasn't lazy writing, again, episode's full of it. John gets to the first portal, and he's in the void in between the worlds, which makes no sense if you think about it, because both worlds are in the same atmosphere, right? You can see the other world. And when John comes out, he's miles and possibly yards away from Allie in the two worlds. He can see her in between them. But if you remember when Clark, which I'm surprised I didn't remember this, when he went in between the two worlds, he flew out through the portal and saw the other portal to the other world. And it was right in front of it. It wasn't yards away. So unless Allie has the power to magically move the two worlds out of their atmospheres, which if you don't know science that well, or the world that well, would destroy it if it moved out of its atmosphere. It would stop the rotation. It would ruin the other rotations, like the sun, the moon. It would ruin that. So that portal that was on our world just magically brought him out yards away from Earth. Does that make any sense? No. It makes no sense. It looked great. It really did. But we can't just look at the looks. We have to look at the book. I can't believe I just said that. You can never judge a book by its cover, right? But when you open the book and read it, if it's crap, it's crap. That's what I'm trying to say here. That scene was like a book. You look at the cover, it looks great, right? You open up the book, it's dog crap. That's what it was. The portal made no sense. John coming up there made no sense. What it should have been is John leaving through the portal and going right in the alley. That's what it should have been. That's what it would have looked like if they followed that same thing in 212 or whatever episode it was. Not 212, what am I talking about? Like 210 or whatever, when Clark went in between the worlds. Because Clark wasn't yards away from that other portal. He was right in front of it. I mean, there was maybe a few, like, maybe a yard at least in between the two portals, but you could see the other world. Unless I'm blanking, but I don't know. That made no sense. Then again, like I said already, a lot of things in this episode that make sense. Jordan and Sarah talk. Jordan revealed he had powers that I started already, that whole rant that I went on. John-El goes to where Clark is. Lois and Sam try talking him down, trying to get him to turn. It obviously doesn't work. This isn't Flash Season 7. Well, sorry. The writing is Flash Season 7 levels. This isn't Flash Season 5, I think I should say. Where we can't talk our criminals down. We have to actually fight them on some level. It's like Flash Season 8. We don't talk people down anymore. We fight them. Like we should be doing. The entire show. The entire episode. Because we know John-El is bad. And we know that Clark tried changing him, but he couldn't. Or did we forget that over that month-long break? Because apparently the writers did too when they were making this episode. Like a lot of things. So I guess that amnesia with that month-long break, it sticks with the writers too. Isn't that surprising? Todd Helbing. Maybe don't, make a month-long break. Which, by the way, I know people were blaming CW. It wasn't CW's fault that we got a month-long break and all these breaks this season. Todd Helbing confirmed that we got all these breaks because the show, the producers and digital effects and whatever, needed time to make it look as good as it does every week. I went in a full-on rant in my promo breakdown about that. I'm not going to go into it more now, but I did talk about more of my promo breakdown for 213. So, go watch that if you want to hear my full-on opinions about that. John hit Allie with a missile, and then Allie struck back with a powerful wave, and John just got sent flying like yards backwards. He's unconscious. Which, she has power Superman. Do you think a missile would stop her? Again, that lazy writing effect, right? Power Superman. What stops Superman? Red Sun Grenade, right? Well, we can't use that here because the Bizarro Alley, which is merged with our alley, doesn't get affected by the Red Sun. So that doesn't really work. You can't use Kryptonite because she also has more power than that, and that's never worked before. So what did you think was going to happen? Like, that common sense, logical writing issue, again, came in one year and 1,000 miles an hour the other way. Like, that's literally what it was. Like, it was lazy writing. And it happened, again, for writing purposes, because we needed Nat to believe that John is dead, so we can have an emotional, heartfelt scene between Lois, Nat, Clark, and the boys at the Kent house when they're all there. That's the only reason. If you really, truly look at it, that is a fact. If you don't really look at it and you just look at one scene, good for you. But looking at it as a whole, what I'm saying is facts. I know people will disagree with that, but it really is. If you really, truly look at everything that happened in this episode, there are so many things that don't fit, that don't line up with what happened earlier in the season. Which is hard enough as this to remember, but I guess they want to think that we don't remember, so it's okay, which is not okay at all. But nonetheless, Jordan started fighting John-El on some level. They use the heat vision and freeze vision on each other. And then Super Lana and John-El team up on Jordan. Jordan's on the ground. Nat comes in. Her suit finally unlocks. And so she got in it and stopped them with the hammer. And they're done. They're down. Hopefully permanently somehow this time. Would be great. Nat's searching for John. There are no signs of him. And John is still drifting in between worlds. And that pitch darkness, which I would assume is space now, our space. Unless we're just going to assume that John is magically floating in an empty void with nothing. Because at this point, the other world is on our world and our atmosphere. So, who knows where that one's going? Sarah figured out that Lana knew Jordan had powers. Sarah's pissed off. Why wouldn't you be? And then the worlds start merging more and more. Kyle's gone. Everything is being turned into Bizarro World, and that's it. And you can see the Kent house turning into Bizarro's Penthouse 2. Like I said, this wasn't the worst episode of the season, but it was definitely the second worst. The week off just did not help anything. I know it was a week, and I know it shouldn't be like, oh, it was a week, But after a month off, and then coming back for 2 weeks saying, yeah, we need another week off, and then come back for 2 weeks, including that finale, why? Give us another week off before things get heated up. We had to sit on 213 ending for a week, and we come back and it was only brought up like 2 times. Not even that, it was brought up once with Clark in the hospital. And the same thing throughout the entire episode was Clark has no powers, he can't be Superman because Superman needs powers. Which isn't true, and Lois brought that up. Good on her. The only good thing I think, well no, that's Lana, sorry. Lana's the one that I could really care less what she does anymore. But, although I don't really mind her, but 213, 212, she was not my favorite. But look, I love Superman and Lois. I'm going to keep supporting it. But, God, season 3 needs to stop with these breaks. I swear to God I'm going to quit watching the show if there's going to be breaks, because I'm so done. The only reason I'm still watching this season is because of Diggle showing up next week. That is the only reason. The promo honestly doesn't even look that good to match a finale. It doesn't feel like we're getting to that finale. We have so many questions about Allie alone that we don't even have answered. That should have been answered in like 210 or something. Like, it shouldn't take this long to answer questions. And it's not because there's little episodes. 15 is a good amount. It's because the writers and Todd Helbing don't know how to make a good story work in that time. Todd needs 23 episodes to make a story work. We all know that. If you want to admit it, good for you. If you don't, well, that's on you, not on me. So, deal with it. Look, I love the show, but this episode was not good. The writing was lazy. You could tell that. It looked great, though. I guess that's the key thing we got to be looking at the show. How does it look? Not the writing, right? That's what we got to look at. That's why we got a month off and the last week off on Superman and Lois was to make it look good, the CGI look good, to keep it on that level that we've been getting for the past, year and a half or 2. That's the entire reason. So I guess we should be talking about the good looks, right? Not the actual writing, not the actual aspect of it. The reason the Flash season 8 is so good is because of the writing. The reason Flash season 1, season 2 are so great is because of the writing. The reason The Flash is a good show is because most of the time before season 8, the writing worked on some level. Even in season 7 of The Flash, there were good moments. Was it a good season? It was the worst season in the entire show. But there were good moments because the writing. Season 8's writing came in hardball and still is now. Flash season 8 is far better than Superman and Lois season 2, just comparatively to the writing aspect. I mean, shouldn't be what this show is. Season 1 levels were far better than any Flash season. I could argue season 8. I think we could all argue season 8, I would hope. But, that's what we're looking at, so. Yeah, anyways, let me know in the comments down below your opinions of the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.